in order to test his son's true character, deliberately disguised himself as a construction worker and went to the site where his son worked. Just earlier that day, the successful chairman had finally located the son he lost 25 years ago, but according to his secretary, his wife had passed away 5 years ago, leaving only the son behind. Determined to make up for years of absent fatherhood, he planned to hand over his entire business empire to his son. However, the secretary reminded him that the young man might be drowning in overdue debts, and after all these years, was he truly trustworthy? The chairman took the advice to heart, so he disguised himself and snuck into the construction site to secretly observe his son's behavior. Meanwhile, the son was working tirelessly, carrying hundreds of bags of cement each day to make ends meet. Elsewhere, the chairman wandered clumsily with a photo in hand, until he finally spotted the young man in the distance. He approached, trembling, and introduced himself, claiming to be his birth father. The son was stunned, struggling to believe what he heard. To his further surprise, not only had he found his son, he also discovered he had a sweet little granddaughter. Overwhelmed with emotion, the chairman asked about the daughter-in-law, but was told that she had long abandoned them, unwilling to live in poverty, leaving both father and daughter behind. To test whether his son would despise him for being poor, the chairman pretended to be homeless. But upon hearing this, his son welcomed him into their tiny rented room without hesitation. In order to cover living expenses for 3, the son brought him along to work. The next day, the son brought 2 cabbages, and led the chairman to his factory job. He assured his father that the work was light, but what he did next puzzled the chairman. The son handed the cabbages to the foreman, who then conveniently assigned him to the lightest duty shift. This raised suspicion. When the chairman casually asked what was going on, the foreman snapped at him angrily, then threw the cabbages to the ground, revealing a hidden stack of cash tucked inside. Only then did the chairman understand that the foreman was accepting bribes. He angrily scolded his son for such behavior, especially since the factory secretly belonged to his company. But the son simply replied that the foreman worked hard sitting all day too, and taking some money wasn't a big deal. The foreman claimed the cabbages were bad and refused them, so the son apologized sincerely, promising to bring fresh ones next month after payday. Satisfied, the foreman assigned them to welcome the factory director and his wife at the gate. He even said if they made a good impression, they'd get paid on time in the future. The son led his father to greet them warmly, but the moment he saw the director's wife's face, he completely lost control, because she was none other than his own wife, the mother of his child, the very woman who had abandoned them for wealth. Now, seeing her husband dressed in a construction outfit, she didn't even ask about her sick daughter. The chairman finally understood the real reason for his son's debts. All these years, his son had been paying for their daughter's medical bills alone. After seeing his wife, the son no longer hoped for reconciliation. He just asked her to help recover his 6 months of unpaid wages, but she coldly refused, saying she didn't care whether he lived or died, even threatening that she might help pay for the surgery, only if he gave up custody of their daughter. Just then, the factory director arrived, afraid her identity would be exposed. She claimed the man was just a worker demanding unpaid wages. The arrogant director grew interested and barked at the foreman to identify who dared ask for money. The son stepped forward, explained that his daughter was seriously ill, and he needed the money urgently.